Are your alerts going to the same channel no matter how critical? In Grafana Alerting, you can set up dynamic routing. So production alerts go straight to your on-call team and staging alerts go to a monitoring channel. All it takes is a custom label template plus a notification policy. Grafana automatically routes alerts based on query labels like instance or deployment. Let's cut through the noise and get the right alerts to the right people. Here's our use case. We're monitoring a set of servers for CPU and memory usage. Some alerts are critical, like CPU usage above 75% on production, while others are only warnings, like memory over 60% on staging. We want to route production alerts to the on-call team and staging alerts to a general monitoring channel. So we will do this by creating a custom label called environment. Its value is dynamically generated using a template, and we will set up a notification policy that routes based on that label. Oh, and if you want to learn exactly how to build those templates yourself, check out our tutorial on alert templating. In order to simulate CPU usage, we are using a Flask-based Python script that simulates a service that generates random CPU and memory values, 10% to 100%, and that script exposes them as Prometheus metrics. We will use the repo behind our sample app and this super cool diagram that DeepWiki generated for us. We start inside our Flask app. It's tracking CPU usage and adds a label right away. Something like deployment equals prod US CS 30. That's basically saying, hey, I'm production traffic, and that label will stick with this metric all the way through. Next, the app exposes its metrics at the metrics endpoint. Prometheus can now see it, still carrying the same label. Then Prometheus comes by, scrapes the endpoint, and adds a few more tags like job and instance. Now the metric is fully labeled with where it came from and what it's measuring. Grafana steps in with an alert rule. Say if CPU usage goes over 80. When that happens, the alert inherits all those labels from Prometheus. So the alert already knows which deployment and instance it came from. And here is the cool part. We add a custom label environment. Its template uses a regular expression to look inside the instance label instance and dynamically pull out whether it is prod, staging, or dev. Then we map that short code to our notification policy. So Grafana routes alerts with the label Flask prod 5000 to production. You might be thinking, wait, why not just use the instance label for routing? Well, the problem is that instance is way too specific. It often includes things like host names, ports, or container IDs. For example, Flask prod 5000, Flask prod 2, 5001, and so on. If you try to build routing rules on those, you will end up with a separate rule for every single instance. Every time a new pod spins up or an IP changes, you will get a brand new label value. And that means new alerts, more noise, and fragile routing logic. By extracting just the environment part, like prod, staging, or dev, we make the label stable and meaningful. So if 5 production instances are running, they all roll up under one label, environment equals production. So that's the full journey. Labels start in your code, travel through Prometheus, and get transformed by Grafana, where our smart environment label keeps everything automatically routed. Okay, back to Grafana. Time to make it real. We will kick things off by creating our notification policies. You can follow along in Grafana Cloud, in the interactive environment, or with Grafana OSS locally. In Grafana, go to Alerts and IRM, Alerting, Notification Policies. In the default policy, click New Child Policy. Add the label matcher. Environment equals production. Choose a contact point for production alerts, for example, Slack. Make sure to turn on Continue Matching Sibling Nodes so Grafana keeps evaluating other policies too, and click Save. Now repeat the same steps for the label environment equals staging with a different contact point. These policies define the routing rules, but right now our alerts don't have an environment label yet. That's where templating comes in. Next, let's create an alert rule for CPU usage. Go to Alert Rules and click New Alert Rule. Name it CPU usage. For the query, select Prometheus and enter the following. Set the condition to fire when usage is above 75. Among the labels returned for Flask app CPU usage, the labels instance and deployment contain values that include the term, prod, and staging. We will create a template later to detect these keywords so that any firing alert instances are routed to the relevant contact points. For example, alerts prod, alerts staging. And finally, here is the magical moment. In the value field, paste this template. This template looks at the instance label and extracts keywords like prod or staging. Then assigns a clean label value. So if the instance is Flask Prod 5000, the environment label becomes production. If it's Flask Staging 5000, it becomes staging. Otherwise, the value will be development. Next, set the evaluation group and interval, choose a 1 minute interval and keep depending and keep firing times at 0 so alerts trigger and resolve quickly for the demo. And in the notification section, preview the routing. This is where the magic happens. The preview should display which firing alerts are routed to contact points based on notification policies that match the environment label. Now, let's add a second alert rule for memory. You can either duplicate the CPU rule or create a new one. You will use this query, then set the condition to trigger when memory usage is above 60%, and apply the same environment templating logic, so these alerts also route correctly. And now let's test it. As mentioned earlier, in the alert rule preview, you will see firing instances with the new environment label. Grafana shows which notification policy each alert will match. Production alerts are routed to the production contact point. Staging alerts are routed to the staging contact point. And when you open active notifications, you will see alerts grouped with their environment label, ready to be delivered to the right team. Awesome! You just learned how to set up dynamic routing with notification policies and Grafana Alerting. This lets you cut through the noise so the right people see the right alerts at the right time. In the next tutorial, we will link alerts directly to visualizations, so you can jump straight from a notification into the relevant dashboard panel. See you there!